Kevin, welcome back to our decking series, man. It's good to have you with us.
Hey, thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, we have done a lot of talking about installing deck surfaces properly and some pre-planning and things of that nature. One of the things that typically is part of a deck project is trim, or what people call like a fascia board. And I know the manufactured decking companies make one of those or two of those. Installing those properly, that seems to be something that there's been different evolutions over the last 10 years at least as to how to get it right. But it sounds like it's boiled down to two generally agreed upon best practices at this point. So could you talk about those?
Yeah, I'd love to. The first part of the fascia is that, you've got our board that's composite, wood and plastic, and then you've got the rim joist here, which is treated lumber. So really the challenge is those two products are moving at different rates, and they're really fighting against each other. So the fascia can be a really tough insulation. Now that's where this is one great example of products that are out there that really help our product perform better. Yeah. And a great addition was the fascia screw system. Now these fascia screws were designed to have a countersink drill that would countersink the drill, and the hole would be bigger than the screw. And then it would go in flush, but also the first part of that screw is smooth. So really when it drills in, and you don't want to over tighten that, you want to just drill it in flush. And what that does is allow that product to move when it wants to. And really that's helped the performance of our product, because like you say, if you just screw it in and move it and the wood starts moving and our product's moving, you'll get wrinkles and creases, and it can be a challenge.
Yeah, we'd never done this before and just mocked this up last night. But this bit was really slick. So this lower portion there was a little bit wider than the shank of that screw. Yeah. So it let that move a little bit. And then there's just a little bit there at the top that basically the countersink for the head. And I think it's just a hair wider than the head too. So when we took the clamps off, this thing, you could almost feel it move just a little bit. So that idea of hanging it, letting it move naturally.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you'd want to leave a little bit if you had a butt joint.
Yeah, 1/8 inch.
Okay, awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So let's talk about the other method that is acceptable. How does that work?
Yeah, so what we got here with the fascia, when installing the fascia, you've got the rim joist here, which is treated product, and then you got our fascia product that's still the same as the decking, wood and plastic. Now those two parts of material, they're moving against each other, and they're kind of fighting, expanding, contracting at moving different ways. So you really need to fasten the fascia down.
So this is a decking fastener that I'm fastening snug.
Yes.
As opposed to just kind of loose like the approved fascia fastener that's kind of almost hanging the board. We're really locking this one down in this method.
And we really want to kind of freeze that profile right in there. So really we've added another step too. Not only do we want to really fasten it down, we want to glue it as well.
Is that what this is here?
That's what So it's any exterior adhesive, any construction adhesive there. On the screws itself, you want to do 2 screws every 12 inches on 1x8 fascia.
In the screw and glue method?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we also have a 1x12. So if you have a 12-inch rim joist, you can use our 12-inch fascia. That'll fit right in there. Okay. And that's going to be 3 screws.
So it'd be boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
3 screws on the
every
vertical.
12 as well.
And then, so if it's screw and glue method, it's 12 inches on the lateral. Okay.
Yeah.
And is that a little bit different on when you're using an approved fastener?
Yeah, on the fascia screws, you can be 18.
You can go up to 18
apart.
on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just because you really want it to move.
Okay. Yeah, my 2 bits on this after studying for this series is just this is definitely an area to go to that installation manual and make sure you got it right. How about another best practice? I think you wanted to talk about this whole situation.
Yeah,
what you see out in the field.
In our environment, we've kind of always done this in the Northwest, but we still have decks that go up. And what will happen is the deck will be going up to the fascia. So a little example here would be the decking board going into the fascia. What you want is that decking board to overhang your fascia.
Just like we got it here.
So just like you have it here. So you want it to overhang, and then it kind of protects that fascia, from getting debris in that corner. Because what will happen if you got just like you got the treated here against the fascia, if you've got product that may get inside there and it may continue to get inside, and that's where you get some warping that can happen on that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just not nearly as attractive over time.
Yeah.
Maybe right out of the gate, it looks sort of clean, but you say you get things in there and it swells a little bit, maybe.
Well, in our boards, remember they're going to expand lengthwise. So if you got 12, 16, 20s and it's going into the fascia, over time, that decking board could push that away as well.
Yeah. Well, as we've talked about in this series, a lot of things and best practices have evolved over time. Are there any advanced or pro tips you can talk about for us with respect to maybe butt joints or how different contractors are handling corners and things when it comes to fascia board?
Yeah, I tell you, the decking contractors that are out there, I mean, they can really get creative and find new ways to do things.
Okay.
So like you got a space here.
Left a gap for you. Yeah.
Fascia is 12 feet long.
The board's kind of 12 foot
12
length.
foot, yeah. Okay. And really what happens with fascia, along with decking as well, but it seems there's a disconnect there because people want things tight, your customers do, and we want things gapped.
Let it move.
So when you start getting into tight corners here, like on a 90, over time you're going to get some issues. And when you start buttoning up fascia tight, because they want that tight, you're going to have issues as well. So really what I've seen out there is some contractors, you can cut away the one groove in our decking board, and then it can fit right down the middle there. And you can see the different depth perception there.
Yeah, and we left a little bit of gap so you can actually, so it allows it to expand.
Allows it to expand and contract. And then you've got the aesthetic that your customers want, homeowners, where it's got nice tight angle there and you can't see a gap or the treated material.
When I think you thought the idea behind this also was maybe plan your joints in your fascia right below the post. So this would sort of be kind of visual.
Yeah. So if you have your 4x4 post sleeve right here, that post sleeve would continue down. So from a distance, the aesthetic looks great. And also then you're only working, because your railing's typically 6 to 8 feet long. Then your fascia is only 6 to 8 feet long, which is really manageable. So now we can move to the corner. There's contractors develop a great way to do the corner as well, to create that aesthetic that it's a tight fit as well. So what you do is you kind of can rip again that groove out and then cut a 90 here.
Or cut a 45.
Cut a 45, excuse me. And then you could actually glue.
Don't look too close at that.
You can also countersink a plug system in there as well to hold it even more. But now this here would fit on that corner. And you can see the nice nice tight corner here. And that's a real great looking
and that would flank your corner post and look good with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I actually really like that method. I mean, the aesthetics looks good. Also, occasionally you definitely want to plan your deck and not have the scraps, and not cut off, 2 feet off each board. So if you do have a little bit left over, you can use them for this as well and use your decking board for fascia as well. So it really kind of has two advantages there.
Well, I like that. Well, I think that's really valuable information to cover on the fascia tip. So I appreciate that, Kevin. Thank you very much.
Thank you.